girl in the garden.
6 months on, and to many the events succeeding to see my demand.
Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 81 of LTFM. Today we have Nick, the metal nerd, on with us. Hello.
What's up?
He is the guy, well, him and his friend that had created the most delicious intro song that I have for my podcast that everyone hears every day. We love it. It's fantastic, but it's finally,
Thank you.
it's good to finally have you on.
Yeah, that was about time. We kind of done the music a while back, and I don't know. Honestly, it was some of the coolest stuff we've kind of come up with in a while. So
Yeah.
the inspiration was nice to be able to, because I came to my friend that we usually jam with, and we're like, hey, I got a friend that wants me to do like the intro for our podcast. You want to like help me come up with it? And we were like, yeah. So he gave us the idea with the quote from Hot Fuzz. And I thought, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to add in, like, a little bit just to give it the whole Cornetto trilogy thing going on there. So we kind of kept going besides, like, the original thing that I sent you.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. I'd never asked anybody to make a song for me or anything, but I was like, I don't know, make it like 30 seconds, 40 seconds max, right? And then you were like, we kind of went a little bit overboard. Let me know if you like it. And I was like, oh shit, he sent it, right? And then I was in the car and I was like, I'm going to fucking crash the car because it was just so exciting. I was like, I'm in there crying. I was like, immediately sent it to my boyfriend. I was just like, oh my God. I was like, this is so good. But it was also just me like fucking nerding out because I was like, wow, that's what my podcast is. Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered. And then I was like, that's a sick ass part. And I was like, oh my God. And then I just kept having to like send it to everybody on Instagram. I was literally like, so excited over it. It was the best. It still is. I love it.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, because it was like, okay, we'll put the intro over like the little part where the news bulletin's going out and he shot a dad. So I thought that'd be pretty dope. And then the transition to like a badass riff with Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered.
Yeah,
go like a little faster.
Yeah,
and kind of riff it out and end it with that other quote. Where she's talking about being with her husband that's a zombie now and shit. So I'm like, that's a perfect point to like said to her right there. We kind of continued. It'd be cool to show you at some point, but
yeah, for
I
sure.
hadn't really prepared it today, unfortunately, and I should have.
It's all good.
I mean, it still has to come along. I kind of want to do some vocals and stuff on it, but I hadn't really added onto it for a while. But it's maturing even more, so it probably sound pretty dope. But because
I was like
with it,
losing my mind over that. I was because originally I was like, well, just put this one little audio bit in there, and then I was like, I don't know, throw some guitar in it. But like, I don't know how to make music. I just like listen to music, and I'm like, right, a guitar, that's all we need. And then I was like, holy shit, there's fucking drums, and it's like it's fading, and there's this and that, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow, this is the shit. And again, I'm just so addicted to like fucking Cornetto trilogy that I was just like, wow, I'm just like sitting there listening to it all the time.
Hell yeah. It was definitely like, I don't know, it just came together in like one night. It was kind of crazy. Like, we just get inspirations like that, and we're just like, no, let's do it. We'll add drums, some kind of simple to start off with, and then go a little bit fucking harder when the comes out.
It was sick.
So it was only like 2 sets of drums and then the guitar, and my friend, my guitarist, just comes up with these fucking crazy riffs off the back of his head, and I kind of just play producer and kind of just tell him where I think we should go with it. And just like the two of us together, just have these ideas that just pop off. So
I was like, this deserves an award. I was, how do I get this nominated for something?
Right. That'd be pretty dope. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, finish it up, and then I pretty much just add my vocals onto it. Maybe redo some drum parts, but it gets a little bit more sicker after that. Just like another riff and some like a kind of dredgy black metal sort of breakdown. It sounds pretty crazy, but and then we kind of continue the whole kind of was still the quotes and everything. So I thought it'd be pretty dope to kind of like make it a whole song based on like the Cornetto trilogy. So.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds awesome. So today, what we have planned is just to get together, talk about my podcast, the multiple podcasts that you have, and just
Yeah.
let everyone know a little bit about yourself. It's pretty interesting. We like to have new people on LTFM so everyone can find out about it. And let's talk. What kind of podcast do you have for everyone to find out about?
So like I said, like you're saying, I have two. I have the one that I originally started off with was My Scary Stories to Tell. That one's on Spotify. It's on YouTube, but it's also on like Metal Nerd channel. I kind of put in the all encompassing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of like, I guess I'm trying to brand name myself as the Metal Nerd, so I have a just channel that kind of encompasses a lot of the different things I'll do.
Yeah.
And then it also has its own YouTube, but that one's kind of doesn't have legs yet. It's just kind of clips that I posted, but
Yeah.
it's kind of short form because the ones I do on my full channel are kind of the long form stories, kind of delve into some of the, I guess, lore of some of the things that I've kind of experienced. Because the My Scary Stories to Tell is essentially like just all my like real paranormal experiences that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like all these things happened like over like course of like 10 years, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta put it out there somehow. So I got the idea whenever I was in school. We were doing a project, an audio production to record like a podcast, and he had some basic ideas, like make a podcast about like a memory that you have in life. So I was like, you know what? Like, I have like a paranormal story that I can tell, so I can make it like a spooky little paranormal story. So I did that, and I added some sound effects and stuff, and like got the whole story. Got my friends to come and do like some of the voiceovers for like, because it was me. Whenever this thing happened, it was I was hanging out with one of my friends and his baby, so we kind of have like kind of this sound bites between like him talking and one of my friends talking, and then
Mm-hmm.
like his girlfriend did like an impression of like a little child's voice, so it sounded
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Were you
but yeah,
in like college or was this like high school that they?
it was in college. It was a community college here in San Antonio.
Mhm.
It was just San Antonio College, and they have a music business program that I took. So yeah, pretty much it's a lot of it does like audio production. Whenever you also work in an actual studio and stuff, and so it's pretty cool with a lot of hands-on experience. So that's when we got to do like we went and recorded inside the campus where they had these little booth setups with little
Yeah. So pretty
recording
much.
mics.
So pretty much like everyone just did like a one episode kind of thing of like an idea for a podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So that was kind of like the preliminary one. So originally it was supposed to be like that, right? So
Hmm.
I kind of like I thought about continuing at some point, but I hadn't really put it out there. And then at some point I was working. Well, I was essentially working for Meta for a little bit,
Hmm.
and as like an ads manager. So like I work with customers who like want to promote their business on Facebook. So they gave us credits to like start off and start our own little page. So I started a page for it too on Facebook, and run some ads and kind of start getting it out there. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for real. So I'm just gonna start doing episodes and putting them on YouTube. At first, I was just gonna make it like that, like kind of voice acting and all that.
Hmm.
So I put the first episode on there. If you want, we can listen to it during the podcast. If you want to check it out,
Hmm.
'cause that'd be kind of a cool little story to kind of go over. Because I could tell it, but I think it'd be kind of cool to hear.
Yeah.
But
If you want to, I don't mind.
yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I'm
yeah,
definitely
so
going to
it's
ask you what it was about. Because I'd like to hear about some spooky stuff.
yeah, because it's essentially it's just based on the story that happened with me and my neighbor when I lived in the city. We're just hanging out, just like chilling, drinking and stuff, and you know, kind of creepy stuff just starts happening while we're there and hanging
Yeah.
out in this room.
After
So,
you've already gotten into a good buzz kind of a thing.
yeah,
Because now that's
yeah,
fucked. Like,
no,
don't start
yeah.
messing with me after I'm already drinking.
Yeah, because it was pretty creepy. Like, we thought we just started hearing noises from the other room, and we're like, "What the hell?" What's going on? And then it kind of proceeds from there. I don't know if I necessarily want to. I mean, we could hear the story, and that'd be pretty cool. So I can tell,
Yeah.
I can kind of riff off of that. But yeah, so I tell this first story just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of happens after that.
Hmm.
Um, because I would, like I said, I originally planned to start just like do them as like voice recordings and like sound effects and other voice actors,
Yeah, the whole
whatever.
production.
Yeah, and then I just moved into this house. Like me and my wife got a house, and we just moved into it. Maybe it's like a couple of months in, we kind of start like experiencing stuff here, and
Okay. And is this at the beginning of like that whole it happened over like 10-year kind of period thing?
No, that could go to my original story.
Okay.
That's where at some
Okay.
point, because that starts in like I think 2010, whenever I
Okay.
first started and stuff. Um, but yeah, whenever it's like, because by then I had already experienced a lot of stuff when I moved over here. But it just like as soon I did the first episode, and then soon after that we started experiencing stuff here, and then I kind of changed format and was like, you know what, like this stuff is happening right now. Let me tell you guys about it. So like
Yeah.
things just started like popping off. Um, but yeah, I mean, we could start with that first podcast, or I could tell the first story. Um, but I think we could let the podcast set the ambiance for it, and then I
Yeah.
can kind of go into like some of the other stories.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to hear.
Yeah. So I mean, do I like? Am I able to screen share?
Um, we could
I
try.
think so.
It doesn't hurt to
Let me
try.
see. Let me see. Oh, screen share, screen. Um, all right.
I There we go. Yeah, because I don't know anything about computers. I could never
Yeah, I mean,
help.
I spent a lot of time on Zoom during my school time, so I know there's at least
Yeah.
a share function. It's just the share. So this is my channel.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me move this over here.
Wow, this is
Move
so
screen.
cool.
Move this over here so I can look at my channel. Yeah, so this is like my channel. It's just the Metal Nerd at the Metal Nerd on YouTube. So
Sick.
I have the that's like the base ones, but like I have the Metal Nerd radio show. Basically, like for this one, I just post a lot of clips from my radio show. I have like the long form
Okay.
content on my Spotify. But I'll
Hmm.
post about smaller stuff, and this is the one that's kind of growing right now.
Yeah.
Um,
But I like how you
yeah,
have
it's
everything
good.
all in one spot so that they could also just like check out everything you got, but then also
Yeah,
go onto Spotify.
you,
That's nice.
yeah, because it's like here's the homepage and stuff, and then so you have the Metal Nerd on top, and then my scary stories to tell.
Hell
So yeah,
yeah,
I kind of miss it.
brother.
Then a bunch of shorts and clips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
we love that.
it's again there. It's getting some legs now. I jumped up to 131 subscribers this past year, and so
We
it's
love
getting
that.
there. It's
It's a
getting
lot of
some
work,
legs. Hell
definitely.
yeah!
But I
I,
mean, as
like
long as you're doing it, that's all that really matters. If it's making you happy and stuff, because it definitely is like a lot of work. And I feel like some people don't understand that, but it's like having like a regular life with like work and everything and having to make shorts and do all this extra stuff and find the time is like wild. But it's good. It's good that
yeah,
you're doing it.
yeah. It is like a struggle, especially to find the time. Because I mean, some of these are kind of like I kind of have to delve deeper into stuff a little bit more. So I have
Yeah.
to take my time and be like, okay, I'm gonna do my research and then have everything set up so that when I do it, I just can do it as many as in little takes as possible. Because
Yeah. And then you
yeah, I
realize
don't.
that it's been like 4 hours and you just did research. Like, takes so
yeah,
long to do stuff.
yeah, it takes a lot of time. It was easier with the My Scary Stories to tell because essentially, I mean, they're only my stories. Some of them I kind of went into like some of, like delve deeper into like some of the lore because there's other stuff that I've kind of encountered. I've encountered like Well, the things that we started seeing here was a black dog, like an omen.
Uh
So I
huh.
kind of told a couple of stories about that and like how the black dog and like folklore is
Yeah.
like an omen, basically, a bad omen. And then
Yeah. And I didn't
like
realize that you had like these scary stories one, like for the podcast. I thought it was just like the metal nerd thing. So I definitely have to go
yeah.
check out all of these because I love some scary shit. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this one was just kind of like my. I mean, it's definitely the ones I start off with, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of changes. See all changes in my setup and how I do things and just everything. So this is like the formulative years of like starting out. I haven't done an
Mm-hmm.
episode in like a year because things have been
Yeah, I've been
mostly
busy.
quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, not just that, but it's like I kind of go off. Like at some point, I already told all the stories, like the main stories
Mm-hmm.
that have happened, and then sometimes I go off of stuff that's happening in real
Mm-hmm.
life. So lately, it's been kind of quiet. There's been little things, but okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna start off. But we'll get on to that.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with the first one.
Here we go.
Let's see. So this is the first little so. It has a whole intro, which I thought was dope. I kind of created later, but it's kind
Okay.
of like the start of it all. So, do you have audio? Can you hear it?
Yes. We could hear.
Sweet.
We all base what we believe is real on our senses, what we see as well as what we hear. Things of sound and sight can often tell a story. There are times when we believe our eyes or ears are playing tricks on us. This is my scary stories to tell.
I'm scared already.
I remember Kim this one at work. It was pretty cool. I just even better
A little bit of music.
Hello, people. This is Nicholas Ortega from My Scary Stories to Tell. This is my new podcast that I'm making. Yeah, it's just a platform for me to tell some of my experiences with the paranormal, actually. So these are real stories. I've decided to kind of tell it in a story format. That way, it can have more dramatic effect and connect with people a little bit more. I think if I just told you, it wouldn't quite resonate. So, yeah, I think it's just something I've been sitting on for a while. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This story is about the night of the child. On this night, my neighbor Ruben and I were at his apartment. I'd come over to keep him company while he watched his 3-month-old daughter,
Sorry.
while the mother of his child and girlfriend, Jamie, was at work. The evening began rather uneventfully. Ruben had invited me in and handed me a drink. I sat in his room and sipped from my can while he tended to his daughter in the living room. Once she was settled down into a nap, Ruben joined me in the room and cracked open his own. The night continued as we sat and had a few drinks, a few laughs, until we heard a noise coming from the living room next.
Oh, I guess Jamie is home early.
Ruben stands up and walks out into the living room to check.
What?
Just to explain right here,
Mm-hmm.
we thought we heard like the door open, and then we heard like footsteps, and
Yeah.
like we thought his girlfriend was home, so we're just kind of like, oh, okay, you just gotta go check it out, just for a
Yeah.
little bit more reference.
Okay.
What the?
What's up?
Bro, did you leave the front door open?
No, you closed the door behind me when you let me in.
Well, no one is here, man, and the front door was cracked open, and my daughter's turned all the way around in her crib.
Wait, what do you mean?
Bro, just come over here.
I walked hastily into the living room, looked into her bassinet. She indeed had done a full turn. Her head was now faced the other way than she had last been left. This seemed impossible, seeing as she was only a few months old, and her crib was much too small for her to move around. It had also only been a couple minutes since Ruben had last checked on her. Ruben and I looked at each other with wide, unknowing eyes. There now seemed to be an eerie energy in the room.
This is so freaking weird, man. How did that happen?
I walked back to my seat in the room and tried to shake off the last few minutes, telling myself it was just our imaginations going wild. Ruben continued to tend to his daughter while I sat and sipped my drink. A couple of minutes went by and I could hear him softly talking to his daughter when I heard a voice of what sounded like a little girl coming from the room.
Hi.
What the hell was that?
Bro, did you hear that?
Yes, what was that?
I don't know, man. I thought it came from her, but the voice sounded older.
No. I'm
It
disgusted.
became eerily silent, and the energy felt so palpable that I couldn't even move. Patterns of dark dots began to form in my vision and take shape in the doorway of the room. The shape was about the height of the light switch in the room. Perhaps about the size of a child. Perhaps a girl. The shape seemed to stare at me.
No.
I became paralyzed if I felt whatever it was stared into my soul. Was this real? Were my eyes and ears just playing an act of deception? As the listener, it's up to you to decide whether or not you believe in things beyond this world. For myself, this is not the first instance of a possible paranormal experience, and I doubt it will be the last.
Yeah, so that was kind of the one
Oh my
that
god.
I ended up turning into the into for my class. So he went through all of them and played them from the class, and there was kind of spooked out at the end of it. They're like, "Whoa!"
Because honestly, so that was for real?
Yeah, that was
His
for
baby was
real,
only a
yeah.
few months old. He
Yeah,
had just
it's
got
only a
done
few
checking
months
on
old.
her, and she's
so it was like,
completely flipped the opposite way.
yeah, she it was a little bassinet too. It was like something small, not like a crib to where you
Like
can
one
really
where they just
turn
fit
around.
in.
Yeah, like it's like there's not much wiggle room at all, but she was
Yeah.
flipped the other way.
Oh my
He's like,
god.
so you start freaking out, and then I'm just sitting there, and we swear we hear just a little voice go, "Hi," and then we're like, he's like,
Gotta go.
like, did you hear that? And I'm like, yeah, what was that? I can't believe, like, what did that
And
come
you
from
just
your
got
baby?
there.
Yeah,
It wasn't like you
that
guys were
long.
drinking heavily all night. It was just like, what
No,
the hell?
it hadn't been that long. I was just chilling for a little bit, and then we heard the footsteps, would sound like the door opening, So we're like, oh, okay, maybe his girlfriend's home.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and then,
Like, when you heard that kid say hi or hello or whatever, about how far did it feel like it was?
I don't know. It felt like it came from over there, like it came from like the other room, from what it sounded like.
We
But
have to go. There'd be no way. That's so
yeah,
crazy. Had they ever
yeah.
had any like other things happen in their apartment or
I
house or whatever?
think maybe he said he had maybe heard some noises before, but he said they really kind of started ramping up after that, and he was kind of freaked out because we are talking about it. And he's like, "Dude, you fucked me up because I'm hearing shit, all like
Yeah.
every day, like just stuff moving and like just noises and stuff." Which is really, I mean, from the stuff, most of the stuff I've experienced, like actual noises and poltergeist activity is like pretty high up there to kind of get like in terms of just things moving around and
Yeah.
actual auditory noises. So I was like, at that point, that was probably the first time I probably actually heard something, like, because I've always kind of just seen things.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I think it was something like auditory. And then, like I said, like there seemed to be this like little pattern, like these little pattern dark dots that started to form like in the doorway.
Yeah.
And it
Did he
kinda
see
looked
that
like
as well, or
something
was it just
descending.
you?
I was still in the room. He was like tending to his baby, so he wasn't back in the
I'm
room
jumping
yet.
out
So
of the window.
I was
Oh
by
my god.
myself for a second, and I was just kind of like staring at it. Eventually, it kind of just like seemed like it dissipated, and then he kind of came back, and I was like, dude, that's what I started telling him about. He's like, no, bro. He's kind of a real bro. That's why
Yeah.
I was worried about the some dialogue being a little cheesy, but that's I'm trying to be authentic. He was kind of a skateboarder bro without the
Yeah.
skateboard, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, it was
Okay.
kind of. So
All
I told
right.
that story because I'm like, you know what? I'm the only one that I know that I had so far that had sound effects and things like that. So I
Yeah.
was like, let's go, you know. So that was like the first one I decided to like just put out.
Yeah.
Be
But
like,
had
okay,
you had like other paranormal experiences before that, right? You said you had like seen or other things
yeah.
before?
So
Okay.
the first one, and this is just because it's not even just like regular. I wish some of them were just regular ghosts. I have seen regular ghosts, but one of the first things I saw was like I call it the creature, which is this episode right
Like
here.
one of the first things you saw
It's
like ever?
yes.
What? Okay.
Essentially, um, essentially, uh, I was just chilling by myself. It was Halloween night. You know, I've started writing like a little like kind of graphic novel for it. I think it'd be kind of cool to do. Like, I might have to change the title a little bit because like it was the whole name is kind of like I guess like loosely like well the inspiration comes from scary stories I tell in the dark.
Yeah.
So I figured it'd be kind of like a cool, you know, just my scary stories to tell. So I kind of have to maybe change the title just a little bit, but
Yeah. Okay.
don't do like and it'll be like a little booklet, you know.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But yeah, so I'm chilling on it's Halloween and I'm hanging out and I don't know. This was probably the first time. Maybe like I kind of like started again to like ghost adventures and stuff like that around the time. So I really started to kind of like sort of start to believe in it a little bit.
Okay.
So you know, I thought maybe it was just kind of the stuff like playing tricks on me. But no, I started like I was hanging out. It was Halloween. You know, I was hanging out. My parents had gone trick or treating with my little brother and sister,
So you're alone.
and yeah, so I'm
Okay.
alone and. Um, I don't know. I just start getting like this creepy feeling. I'm just sitting there, and I just start seeing like shadows darting like across the room. Like in the dining room, I'm seeing something like white go across, like a kind of like a white translucent spirit, like going across, like back and forth. And I see another one that's like because it's like the dining room's right here, the kitchen's right here. There's a little space to walk over to the kitchen. There's like a
Hmm.
wall, and there's like a space right there.
But you
Where
could
that
just see
space
into
is,
them.
yeah, I could see like a black figure that would just kept like peeking at me like from the side.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's
and
so
this
scary.
and that black one or whatever that I kept it was just like a recurring thing. I just kept seeing it after that every once in a while, just
Holy
kind of
shit!
like if it's like this curious little ghost that just like peeking out.
Yeah.
And that one, I always kind of confirm some of these things that I've seen by someone else saying that they've seen them before I say anything, right?
Hmm.
Because my little brother, who's you know he was younger at the time, and he kept seeing like a shadow run out the back door, and that's when I started seeing. And I think my mom said she saw the one by the stove, but the stove right there, it's like the stove, and then the garage door, and that's where we like when we used to jam, we jammed there in the garage.
Hmm.
And like I know one time we were just hanging out and you know, jamming out, and my friend kept saying like, "Dude, like I swear I keep seeing like someone like open the door and come in, like looking at us." But the door wasn't opening, but it felt like he kept seeing
Yeah.
like something like coming in and like peeking in at us, which was like the same point where this thing was always at.
Hmm.
So I see that. You know, and I'm just kind of creeped out. I kind of start trying to record my phone, like ask if anything's there, and so I end up going back to my seat and I'm sitting there for a little bit, just kind of, all right, I'm just gonna like ignore these things. And then I see something jump out from the side at me. Like it's this little figure that was like hunched over, Like kind of picture like the jockey from Left 4 Dead 2. If you ever played that, it was kind of
Okay.
like that, like a little hunched over creature, and it like jumps out at me, and I was just like, "Whoa!" And I was just like, oh.
But you were in the kitchen?
I was sitting. At
You
that
were
point, I'd gone back down and sat down like at my laptop. I was doing homework,
okay.
at another
And
college
some
at that
shit
point.
jumped out. How
Yeah,
big
and
was it? Like like a kid
it
size?
was kind of like it was like maybe like probably the size of me like sitting down, but like I said, it was
Uh,
kind of like a just little hunched over figure, like
did it have a face
whatever, like
or anything?
um, I
I'm
didn't really
panicking
see.
over here. I'm like,
So I kind of got into some of the lore here
okay.
in this one. Hold on.
Oh man.
Oh, you check out this. So this is kind of how it progresses because I come up with another intro.
Okay. Oh, that's sick. I like that. Oh my god. That sounds so sick. Quality.
Hey
That was
guys,
sick.
back again for another episode of my scary story
So
to
I
tell.
mean, I
This
pretty
is
much tell
episode.
the same story that I told you
Hmm.
just now, but again, just some of the lore of it and what I think it is, and it's like essentially like a. Let me see what I think is like an imp.
Okay. Yeah.
So I watched this video on it, so you can go watch the video because it's kind of
Yeah, for
creepy.
sure.
Um,
I'm
which
hyped. I
is
love
just kind of
listening.
which is like just basically like a smaller level demon,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I guess apparently when you was a little kid and put a story up about it on YouTube. So let's check it out.
about some other guy who dealt with imps growing up.
The music,
Okay. That's interesting though.
Yeah.
the imps. Yeah,
Well, I guess I should.
that's crazy.
I should actually read it.
That he kind of didn't
It
realize
said-
until he
but
was
it said,
older.
yeah, as a child, I'd seen them being confronted by 2 to 3 feet tall, terrifying creatures. It wasn't until I was older and they appeared again that I realized what they were. They're These are original drawings I did in my childhood. So,
Imagine being a little kid having to deal with this stuff. I was like almost 20, around 20. Oh no. Mine was a little bit hunched over. Oh yeah, I was talking about seeing that. I saw a thing on the ceiling at some point.
Fuck that.
Oh no.
oh no.
Something about that height, man.
Honestly.
I didn't really get so much a good look at the face. Except for the hour camera.
This is kind of like I said, I was kind of coming up, so I didn't like whatever reason my camera is super tiny,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's like really tiny. I didn't even think I was like, "Damn, why did I make myself so tiny? It didn't need to be that. Could be a couple extra inches there."
Yeah.
But yeah, so it says due to recent disturbances while sleeping, I set up an IR camera set to motion detection to capture how many times I wake up at night. So.
To capture how many times I wake
Oh,
up.
I did read it. Okay, good job, Nick. Pass, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay. See some of this. Oh no.
Captured something on camera, which I thought I had the cat walking into the room until I saw her in face. Those cat sleeping in bed, she was not to notice a shadow walking into the room, but looked up at the camera when the second shadow appears, coinciding with sounds of me. Then the disturbed really
Oh my god.
Damn, look at that cat. That cat is just like alert as hell. Oh shit.
Whoa, damn.
No. It's like clearly watching whatever it is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like around that time where there's like that low interference. Like right here. On the last episode, if you remember, there's a point where I hear some kind of interference like that and some noise.
Oh yeah, I was talking about like one of my last episodes. I was like in the middle of telling a story, then everything like I start hearing like some knocking,
Yeah.
and then it just like glitches out, and I was like, "What the
What
hell?"
the fuck?
Like in the middle of recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he kind of like you clearly see a shadow walk
Yeah.
across this fucking cat. The only part of the only reason I have like I my cats are fucking crazy. They jump off the goddamn walls all night, and they're
Yeah.
just annoying. But they have seen shit around the house. So
You seen your
um,
cats like washing shit that there was nothing there?
yeah. We'll make it. We'll try to make it to. I'm gonna go through some of this, and we'll go through the latest episode, the last one I did, where I
Hmm.
actually kind of captured them really kind of acting strangely towards something, and
Wow.
just
Okay.
it's like the most evidence I probably got like on camera because usually I don't
Yeah.
catch
So you
these
have an
moments.
actual video of your cats like checking some shit out, kind of.
Yeah, reacting to
Wow.
something,
Okay.
and then like yeah, because
Yeah.
right now, like, it's been more small stuff lately, but it kind of goes off um, a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about. But yeah, so essentially these little demons, these little imps, I saw the one that kind of comes up on me,
Yeah.
So to kind of continue that story, because that's not even like technically there's like a part two to this story,
Because that
right?
was just happening. It was Halloween night. Also, what a
Yeah,
night for some crazy stuff to happen.
exactly. Because I
Like,
was
why?
like,
Why tonight?
yeah, because it's Halloween. That's whenever
Yeah.
the
They
veiled
really came out.
thinnest. Yeah, they fucking came out and showed up this
They
time. That
they they
but
said pull up.
after I saw the one that like jumped up on me, I'm like, okay, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to
Fuck
sleep. Like
that, right?
I'm
Look,
not
all the
fucking with
lights are
this
coming
night
on.
anymore.
We're not messing
Um,
around.
yeah, exactly. So and the lights were actually on. The stuff was happening just in my field of vision. It was
That's
kind of
disgusting. You need to leave.
so to continue because there's a second part to like the
Okay.
story, which I just kind of told it in this whole thing, where I go like there's a different point. I'm staying with my brother, right? Like I'm crashing on his couch, and this kind of coincides like on a weird fucking night with my mom. I managed to track it to where my mom was having a super fucking weird night too, and yeah, so like I was there staying in his living room, and I could have sworn like I just couldn't sleep. I was having just like I had that familiar feeling, and I was just like flipping and just like I couldn't sleep all night, tossing and turning, and at some point I was watching TV, and then I just turned everything off, and then I saw just like what kind of looked like a little boy like standing in the corner, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I was just there like creeping out the whole night. Like okay, I didn't sleep
What
at all.
the
Like that,
fuck?
I stayed up till like the morning till my brother went to work, and then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go try to get some sleep in his bed, and I'm laying in his bed, and I'm just like I'm kind of drifting off, but then I'm having these crazy thoughts, like thoughts I don't feel like are mine, like
Yeah.
kind of like violent stuff, and I was
Okay.
just like, what is going on, like, and then I just feel something, like I hear these. My brother's apartment did this weird thing, and it kind of continued because we kind of got to another apartment, but it kind of where there's two doors to it, and they would just close shut for no reason.
Okay.
Um, and it closed shut, and then I felt something like grab my neck, and I like just jump up, and I'm just like, "Fuck!" So like,
Fuck
and
this.
yeah, I get out of there. I'm like, "Okay, I'm not sleeping in my brother's room. I'm just gonna like I didn't
Guess I'm
sleep
not
at
gonna
all."
sleep at all this week, huh?
Yeah, I think I would. Like I was like, I'll go back to our my parents for a little bit until like we get an actual apartment, and that one was creepy as hell too. It didn't stop
Damn.
there. It
Hmm.
pretty much well anyway, just to coincide. So rewind back, I'm having that terrible night.
Hmm.
At the same time, my mom's at home, and she's having like she starts to get this like weird feeling, right?
That same night that you weren't able to sleep, your mom was
Yeah,
also
she gets
having a
this.
horrible night.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
like she gets this weird feeling, like a mother's thing at first, like thinking like, oh, like I feel. What she says, she felt like someone was hugging her, but like it was like one of us, like one of her kids or something. And then she sees the kind of that little creature like manifest in the corner, and it's just there in the fucking corner staring at her.
Like the one that was
It's
in the living room with you. What the
that's exact.
fuck?
I remember my
Oh my god,
yeah
I'm
my
scared. I'm
dad.
getting goosebumps.
I did not like my dad's the one who tells me about this story. Like later on, I remember driving back with him, and somehow we track it back to it was happening the same night. Because it
Okay.
was like it wasn't that long after he was picking me up and
Okay.
taking me back, and I was like, and he said like, yes, she felt something weird that night, and then she said she saw something in the corner. My dad didn't believe anything like that, so he was like, it's like she's probably not
Yeah.
real. But I'm like, into my head, I'm thinking, I saw the fucking same thing.
What
I
the
saw the
fuck?
same fucking thing. And
Yeah,
I don't
like
know
what
if
does that even mean?
it means that there's something that's just haunted my family's house for a while
Yeah.
now. Because it's just, there's been other like occurrences of people feeling it. Apparently, there was one time that my mom had some of her friends over, and one of them was like a medium or something, and she just got really fucking scared. Like she got really frightened. She wanted to just leave from there, but she's like, "We need to fucking sage this place, like for
Yeah.
real," because she just got like super fucking creeped out. And then
Wow.
the latest one, actually, one of my cousins, she's also very like clairvoyant. Apparently, I didn't even really know, but she told me one time she just felt like she needed to go see my mom. Right. Um,
Hmm.
she needed to go see my mom. She just felt like she was kind of a little bit strange, but for whatever reason, she felt like she needed to go visit her. My dad had just passed, like not that long after that, not that long before that. So he knew she was might just be depressed. So she came over there and told my mom did need somebody. But whenever my cousin went up to like her room for a minute, she said she felt something. She felt like very sick, like dizzy, kind of like she was maybe feeling my dad.
Hmm.
But she also said she felt like something was there. And she said specifically that she feels like some kind of creature, or demon, or something is there, and that it likes to hide up in like my mom's closet. Like that's the place where it hides. She says she could feel it that it
Yeah.
was
That's
it was up
weird
there.
that she was feeling it not just like being like a kid or something, but like some kind of a creature.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Like
weird. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like you think it's just like it's just ghosts and stuff, but there's like demons. There's other kind of creatures that are out there. Um, like I said, there's been a lot that I've experienced. Like when I started here, I started experiencing. So it's actually when I talk about the black dog, that was kind of the first thing. Um, my wife wakes up in the middle of the night, she's going to a restaurant, whatever, and she sees a black dog like just sitting in our like dining living room area, like just staring at the back door. Like she said, like this big ass black dog. So I was like, what the hell? So
Did she
she
run back
wakes
in the
me.
room and
Yeah,
panic?
she woke me up and said, "I think I see a black dog in the kitchen. Can you go check?" So I was like, "Okay." So I get up and go, and I don't see anything, but the back door is like cracked open. I was like, "What the fuck?" So I just kind of close it, and I don't know. It said black dogs are said to be like omens.
Hmm.
And after that, a lot of stuff kind of just started going wrong.
What the
Just with
fuck?
us and just us getting sick and us like she kind of started having these like really intense nightmares that
Yeah.
she ended up having to get help for because they were so bad. They were
Holy
so bad,
shit.
like just crazy ass fucking nightmares, just
Yeah.
haunting. And apparently, this is kind of a thing too, of this things that people have kind of experienced because her sister said she's had like a couple of terrifying dreams too.
Hmm.
Which is kind of why, like, okay, let me see, let me reorder this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you guys like, or your family like really religious or anything?
so yeah, I come from a heavily Catholic background.
Mhm.
Really like just steeped in Catholicism.
Yeah. And are
So
you
yeah, that'd be
yourself
the
like
ones I
that too, or are
would.
you just kind of like a neutral with that?
Well, I'm like most Latino Catholics. It's kind of like,
It's
um,
there,
it's there. I'm just there. Yeah, like it's
right?
like you ever seen This Fool where um, you ever seen that show This Fool on Hulu?
No,
It's like a bunch of Latinos and he's talking. They're just like because they're like, oh, we have to get our son baptized, and it's like, we don't have to do that. It's like, do you believe in this stuff? It's like, no, I just do it
right?
because of my mom.
Same.
Like
I'm like,
I
look, I
just
got baptized, and I was like, the only time I go to church was like for grandma. I just don't want to hurt
yeah.
grandma's feelings, so I was just like, all right, anything for grandma.
Yeah,
Other than
pretty
that, I'm just kind
much.
of like, I guess I don't
No,
know what baptized means. I am though.
they were pretty like because there's like a bunch of sacraments, right? So the baptism is the first one whenever you come to the world and it's to protect you. Like the
Mhm.
thing is, it's kind of like apparently if you don't get baptized, you as a child just go straight to hell. It's
Right?
like
I'm
what the
like, pour that
fuck.
water on my head. And I don't know if it's really helping me now, but sure.
Yeah, but there are multiple with Catholicism, because there's that, and then there's First Holy Communion, where you can eat the Jesus crackers, and then
Man, I always
there's
wanted to eat those little wafers and some of that
yeah,
grape juice. I was
yeah.
like, come
Sometimes
on.
you're hungry, and it's just
But I
like
felt like if I lied and went up there, I was like, they'd be like, no, you're a liar. And I was like, fuck. So I never did
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, you pretty much have to go First Holy Communion. No one will really say anything,
I know, I was so scared though.
like I guess you could because the only other thing you do is just like cross your arms and they'll bless you. Just
Yeah.
so like they know you can't take it, but they can bless you. But anyway, and then the last one is confirmation. That's where you're like growing up into the world. So they made me do all of it. So
Yeah.
um, stuff does tend to happen if you're kind of a little bit more religious. But I mean, sometimes even with that, I mean, they've had that house blessed over and over again. I don't think it's ever really stopped over there. Like
Yeah.
I've
It
had
could just be
so
like something like some kind of a bad energy that's just been holding on to the house, or just like from previous people and like your family or something. Maybe like something just like stuck onto the family.
we definitely have like a clairvoyant sort of like line
Hmm.
genetically because my mom was the one that always saw stuff. My dad didn't never see nothing. Um, Neither did like my older brother, but I think my younger brother, that saying he saw the shadows, have seen some stuff, but maybe not as much. But the more you get into it, the more you talk about it, the more it tends to happen.
Yeah.
It's because it's like the more you let it scare you. I think the thing is like I kind of come off more like just kind of nonchalant, so I think they kind of get tired of trying to be like, man, we can't fucking
Yeah.
can't get no reaction out of this guy. God, he just
Yeah.
talks about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
But
He's using
I
us
mean,
at this point.
um, so yeah, yeah. There's so many different things that happen. Like, okay, so obviously this is creature, the black dog. That was kind of the first of the stories, right? My wife kind of experiencing that. There was another incident where a dog, like I don't know, it was this other dog, this like other German Shepherd dog that seemed like it hung around it because it was
Hmm.
just like terrifying us one night. Like it was just barking, barking. Like our backyard is just was for a while just open, no gate or anything. So whatever fucking dogs could just come in. I think that was part of the thing. It was almost like an invitation to come in, right?
Yeah.
But so shit, just no. Um, So yeah, this dog was just barking, barking outside our bedroom window all night. I went outside a couple of times to like chase it off. I'm like, what the hell is this dog's deal? And it was just
Yeah.
like it was just fucking with us the whole night. And I was like, what the fuck? So there's another point where I went with my dog. She's also a German Shepherd,
Okay.
and I take her out like one night after me and my friend are done jamming, and I just take her out outside and I just like as soon as we get outside she like gets like she like perks up like she gets ready for something and then she
Yeah.
fucking just she runs off. Oh no, what just happened? Hold on.
Uh,
It's my
change it.
camera.
Oh, okay.
Should be charging along with working. back? Am I back? Hello.
I can hear you still. It's just that the camera is gone.
Oh no. I got one of those. I mean, it's kind of just like a basic like
Yeah.
video camera, but like it could connect to my PC, but sometimes it just fucking dies.
Yeah. That's fine. I just got a shit
Um,
camera on my computer. But as
um,
long as we can still hear you. Maybe it just takes a second and it'll come back up.
yeah, maybe it's on. It's plugged in, so it should be working, but it's not popping up on the audio visuals.
The
Darn it.
audio.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
let me see. So yeah, anyway, like she perks up, she's there, freaking, she gets ready, and then she just takes off, right? She just takes off and starts like chasing after something, and it's that other German Shepherd, and she chases it for a second, and then she fucking runs back like she's scared as shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's that name? Um, damn. And it, and then I see it. I see the freaking black dog there in the alley, like
Just
it's
standing
just
there.
kind of just standing there. It looked huge to me, like just kind of like almost but black, but it seemed almost like translucent too. So my dog was freaked out as hell, and me too. So I'm just like, fuck that, I'm running in, like I'm going back inside.
Yeah.
But like I said, stuff like starts going wrong after that. You know, like after my wife starts having these nightmares. Like maybe a few months later, like my dad passes away. You know, and
Yeah.
the omen's supposed to represent like bad luck and death and all this sort of tragedy and stuff like that. So after that, things kind of just keep going wrong. I get bit by a dog,
What the fuck?
by my freaking
Was it a
my
black dog?
no, it was like a
Okay.
little French bulldog. My
Okay.
father-in-law was staying with us for a few months, and he was just aggressive, and I was trying to get him to like he was starting to go aggressive towards my wife, and I was trying to get him away and trying to get him back off, and then he just jumps up and takes a chunk out of my freaking hand.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like these just keep happening. Maybe later, not long after that,
Mm-hmm.
I freaking fall off a ladder and I shatter uh my tibia, like pretty much
Whoa.
down the middle, like a fucking hot dog bun.
What?
It just split in half.
Yeah.
So it's like this, all this kind of like just real bad luck and stuff happens after this black dog appearance for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy. Let me see.
Okay.
Like a little, no idea. That whole intro again.
Hell,
So that was the second episode. I pretty much this I decided to break format because stuff started happening. You know, we started seeing the black dog. We
Yeah,
had
and you're
these
like,
couple
I gotta get this
occurrences
stuff
where things
out.
happen. So, darn it. You know what? This is not the one I do the lore on because I start third one after that, and that's whenever I tell them that I get fucking bit, but I got that. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if I can find the moment that because this is the one where there's like a camera glitch.
Yeah. Ooh, now I'm all paranoid. I'm hearing stuff.
Do a little bit of the lore. Let's see. This one's kind of silly. This the one. Oh yeah, this one's kind of crazy because everything started happening at once too. I
While you're recording this.
yeah, while I was recording, but also like around that same time, like I said, my father-in-law was staying with us,
Mm-hmm.
and my I guess his daughter, my sister-in-law, like has this pretty crazy ass dream. Let's see, I'm gonna get into the whole lore of the black dog first.
The black dog is a supernatural, spectral, or demonic entity from English folklore. It is usually unnaturally large with glowing red or yellow eyes, is often connected with the devil as an English incarnation of the hellhound, and is sometimes an omen of death. Black dogs are generally regarded as sinister or malevolent, and a few are said to be directly harmful. Some black dogs, however, such as the Gert dog in Somerset, are said to behave benevolently as
I mean, I don't really know if it could be a protector. I mean, my
Oh, here.
What the hell?
well, that was weird. My uncle's really religious, so
Hold on!
it could be
What the hell?
something.
some black dogs, however,
Could be a protector. I mean, my
What the hell is that?
well, that was weird. My uncle's
the
really
fuck?
religious, so
So were you by
it could be
yourself when you were
something
recording this?
sent
yeah, I was by myself.
as a guardian, but
I don't think it was my dogs. I think I had.
it depends, man.
out
It
back or
depends.
something.
That's definitely not a noise
But
I've
yeah,
ever
a
heard a
couple of
dog
theories
do.
as to what it could be.
Yeah, 'cause there's like, oh man, it gets so creepy sometimes around here. Like, sometimes I'll just be here, I'll have the door open, and I'll think I'll see my dog like they're standing there just staring at me, like just waiting for me to come out or something, and I'll look, and there's nothing there. So it's like wherever this thing is, I feel like there could be like some kind of shapeshifter around. I don't know. It's got crazy, but
Yeah, and it's like, what do you want?
oh, see.
Yes, it depends, man. Well, that was weird. My uncle's really religious, so it could be something sent as a guardian, but I don't know. It depends, man. It depends. But yeah, a couple of theories as to what it could be. Yes, that was weird.
Yeah.
There's like a noise and then some interference, so
Now
that was
your camera's all weird now.
that was kind of went with the ambiance of the episode, a little bit creepy there. But yeah, there's been stuff like that around the house. Just strange noises. The shadows continue in the hallway. My sister-in-law, who's been staying here, shout out Mercedes, actually had a dream about the house. Apparently, in the dream, she woke up and something happened, and she went looking for us. Try to look for her dad, try to look for us, and apparently no one was there. And when she came out into the hallway, she saw a tall, slender figure with wide eyes standing in the hallway. It sounds eerily familiar, like the entity most notably known as Slender Man is what I was getting from that. I don't know if you guys remember that story. It's actually a true story as far as the incident. These little girls were blaming an entity that was telling them to kill their friend. And they stabbed their friend and left her to die in the woods.
I don't know why that did that.
Pretty crazy story.
But yeah, she has this crazy fucking dream, and she just like freaked
Wow.
out. Because she was just saying she said in the dream she woke up, she was really scared, and she went to go find us, and she couldn't find anyone, and when she came back, she's just slender figure, this tall thing in the hallway, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy, like these different things that keep coming up in the house, because I was talking about my uncle for a second, and the dog kind of apparently relates to something that I don't know might be a family thing, because apparently my uncle used to be like haunted by a black dog that would just keep them up all night and just bark outside
That was a
their
real
house,
dog.
and they believe, yeah, and apparently it just followed them from place to place. That black dog would always show up, and guess who lives like right down the alley that that dog came from my uncle.
What?
So like my same
Okay.
uncle. So he lives like down the street. So I don't know if it's just
From
like
where
something
your
that's
house
just been.
is.
Yeah, yeah. So
What the fuck?
pretty
I need
creepy.
to
Like
know what is going on with that dog. I need somebody to give us some answers.
it's
What the
been a
hell?
while. I meant to save some footage because I think I like caught it on camera, but
Okay.
I didn't end up. I forgot to save the damn footage because it was like from one of uh
Yeah.
those ring things. So but I forgot to freaking save it. But yeah, it's some pretty crazy stuff. A lot of it having to do with animals. Freaking like I said, these different kind of entities that have experienced seen like a doppelganger of my wife.
You
Well, I
did
thought it was
not.
her. Yeah.
In the house?
Oh, so this was actually a different house. It was like this, like how me and her were staying with my brother,
Okay.
and like we had maybe like a three-story house, or not three-story house, two-story house, three-bedroom. So we're staying there. And that house honestly was pretty fucking creepy. Like
Mhm.
probably the only place that I experienced like poltergeist activity, like frames falling off the walls. One time, my wife, she was walking like in front of me. And Cassie, I'll just call her by her name. Well,
Mhm.
Cassie was walking in front of me, and there was this bottle that was like on top of the TV, and it just like flew at her. It didn't just fall; it like flew. It like went
Yeah.
like a trajectory and just like flew at her. We're like, what the hell? Like just
What?
baskets toppling over, things like that. Just random kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like full fledged poltergeist activity. But anyway, there's this one night like we're gonna go out, and I'm in like we have this little walk-in closet. I'm in there looking for like my wallet and stuff, and like trying to look through my pants, and I can't find it. And
Hmm.
uh, she'd gotten ready, and we're both getting ready, but she'd gotten ready, and I guess she'd gone downstairs, and I didn't know. And whenever like I kind of looked from the walk-in closet, I thought I saw her walk across the room, like, and then out of view, like next to where like maybe the bedside table was. So I was like, okay, I was just gonna walk out the walk-in closet and ask her if she'd see my wallet, and no one was there, And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
She was already downstairs,
hello?
so basically, I just see this thing that kind of,
Okay.
oh, hello, hello,
Yeah.
darn it.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Damn. Wonder if let me see about the camera. Just wanna click on it and see if it'll work. No,
You know,
it's not.
from all of the stuff that I've experienced, I've heard a lot of things throughout my life that I was like, there's no other way to explain that. Like it can't be explained. The other day I actually saw a ghost for the first time, full like a full figure of it pretty much. But it was like my old dog that had passed away in
Mm-hmm.
2020, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" And because I had opened up my room door and I seen his little face, I seen his ears, his little eyebrows, like he was like dark, how like he used to be like when he was younger. I seen his little legs, but like the back of his body, like the rest of it was like still inside of the wall, like it wasn't like fully
What?
out in front of me. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then as soon as I said that, it was like, and he just disappeared, and I
What?
started getting goosebumps, and I was like, dude, that was so real because like there's no way anything else in the hallway would be that size, would look like that. And I was like, that was my old friend. I seen his little
Oh.
paws and everything, and I started getting goosebumps, and it wasn't like I was scared, but I was like, wow, it was like a different feeling because I've heard stuff in that house before, and
Mhm.
I was like, I need to get the fuck out.
Oh
Like
shit.
like one time I was in my parents had left, it was like a Friday or Saturday. They were at their friend's house at a birthday party. And I'm sitting on the couch by myself in the house with the dogs. And like if someone knocks on the door, the dogs are barking, like any kind of a noise, dogs are like freaking out over it. Especially like little
Yeah.
chihuahuas. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching TV, and it literally sounds like somebody picks up the washer and dryer and throws them across the room in the basement. And
What?
I like freaked out, and it got me so scared because it was the loudest thing I had ever heard. And the dogs were just laying there, quiet.
What?
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was sitting there for a second, and it was just, it shocked me so much. I just like, I had no socks on, I had no shoes, like nothing. I just had shorts and a t shirt on, and I ran out in the backyard and I called my parents. I was like, you guys need to come home now. And they're like, well, we're like about 45 minutes away, but we'll leave if you're like feeling uncomfortable or this or that. I was like, yeah, you guys need to come home now. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, there's something in the basement. And then they came home and they're like, nothing's wrong. Like, the washer and dryer is fine. None of the like the shelves in the basement fell or anything. But I was like, there was
Mhm.
fucking something in the house. Like, because you know, like the house settles and it creaks and does this and that. But I was like, I had never heard this noise, and it was the loudest thing. Like, it scared the hell out of me. But I've never seen anything. I've only heard crazy shit until the
Yeah.
other day, and that was crazy. I was like, thanks for showing up, bud, because I don't know what I would do if I seen a little kid in the corner. I'm the fuck out of
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah, like
Oh,
that.
no.
There's been I think my baby's crying.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's been some. Yeah, I've definitely seen some different sort of entities, and then I've seen some ghosts too. But that's probably the least. I think yeah, it's like that little boy. I think I've seen an old lady once. I was like, it was maybe the second apartment that,
Mhm.
or the first, technically the first apartment that me and my brother were staying in, and I was doing laundry. I was just in the laundry room there, and I turn around, and I just swear I see this like little old lady sitting on the couch for like a second, and
Yeah.
then it just like disappears. Okay, um, yeah, pretty freaking creepy. Like, oh, okay, hold on, let me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That kind of stuff is always so scary, though. But I feel like in some way, I am able to have things like come out and talk to me in a way like, well, because like I say this because I've used like a Ouija board a couple of times, right?
Uh,
And I've used it with one time with another person and it didn't work. Um
uh,
but I've used it alone a couple of times and I've gotten like crazy ass things happen. Like,
oh
I've
really?
had my phone pop up and like start talking to me from the Google thing, and like literally no one said Google or asked Google anything, and it just popped up. And it like, because I had turned to my cousin and my best friend and I was like, anyway, so how are you guys feeling, whatever, because they were being stupid. And my phone turned on and it was a guy voice and it was like, I have lots of feelings and emotions. And then when I went back into my Google, there was no question, no answer, no response history for anything that it had said. And they were like, what the fuck? Because my friends were being like stupid. They were like, ask it this and ask it how big its dick is and do this. And I was like, you guys are going to stop fucking around. Like, you can't just do that. Like, you know, like, let's be serious because I don't know what the hell any of this is. Like, it's a Ouija board, right? You don't know what you're messing with. And they were just
Yeah.
being idiots. And I was like, that's why you guys are going to get possessed, not me. But,
with with the stuff that's been like happening, right? I mean, if there's something there, then like yeah, Ouija board just opens it up, right? It opens up the
yeah.
line of communication to talk to it. The only
Mhm.
thing that people always forget is to close the conversation.
Yes.
If you don't close the conversation, then it shit gets bad. You know,
Oh my God, I
if
know.
it's
That's
a
what
if
every
it's a
time
wicked.
I closed it because I was like, there's no way. Goodbye. No, thank you. This
Yeah,
is
if you
over.
keep, that's where it's bad. I think like the movies and things like that, where stuff like that happens. It's like they
Yeah.
don't close the channel of communication. If you keep it open, then it's just going to keep coming. But also, just the more like you do it, to just like ultimately kind of invites them in. Like my mom got heavily into doing like seances and stuff. Like there was a point,
Hmm.
yeah, I had like a little brother that was stillborn,
Yeah.
and you know, she got really into it after that, and she was just like trying like hell to try to like communicate with him, you know, and try to
Yeah.
find some way to communicate with him. And she just had some creepy stuff happening. You know, she said she got haunted. Well, she saw like this old man that she used to see at like the nursing home she was working at,
What
And I
the
guess at some
fuck?
point he dies, and she wakes up one night and just sees him there, like staring at her, and that she like felt him grab her at some point, and then she woke up.
Ah! Oh
Yeah,
my
she
god!
woke up the next day and she had like bruises on her arm and stuff where he grabbed her.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my mom got really heavily into it, and then I don't know if that maybe opened up a gate or something because like now we have this thing that's been in our house um,
Yeah.
for years. I mean, it could have been there before, but
Yeah. But that
yeah.
that definitely could be like a reason behind it. That's why like I don't try to mess with it too often. Like I've done it 3 times, but I was like it showed me so much in those 3 times that I was like, yeah, there's definitely something there. Definitely something trying to show itself. I mean like that was crazy enough like the things that I experienced. I was just like, no.
Yeah,
Cuz
that's
the first
what.
time I did it, I was like, just give me a sign. I just want to see if anything's here. Fucking phone started glitching out. The video call started being all weird. I could hear my parents in the living room. Their phones were acting up. My dad's like, why'd you send me all these pictures? And why does it look like your phone's taking pictures and flashes and doing this? And my mom's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she's like, oh, my phone's doing this. And like, it was like all their technology shit was fucking up. And then it was like, my phone's messing up and this is happening. And like, it was just a lot of weird things, but I was like, I think that's enough. I think I've got my sign. Cause like, why all of a sudden after I'm like, hey, I just give me a sign. I just want to see if anything's here. Uh, you know, just kind of show me something. And then all that stuff started happening. I was like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's where it kind of like I think with like these things apparently are like come from like electromagnetic activity, like
yeah,
pretty much. So that's why if the connection's strong, then they will interfere with like electronics, strain batteries, or whatever. Even just that little glitch I had in the episode, like heard noises, and then all of a sudden,
yeah. Cause like,
there was kind of
why would that happen any other time? The video was totally fine until then.
yeah, and I
It's
was
weird.
talking, yeah. So yeah, and then the latest one, the first one I did was like this one called the witching hour. So for whatever reason, at some point, I was just waking up every night at like 3 a.m. Like no matter
Ugh.
what for like months on straight. It stopped eventually. Like
That shit pisses me off when I wake up at 3 and I'm like, now I gotta wait till 4 to go to the bathroom. I don't do it. I'm not doing it. It pisses me
yeah,
off.
yeah, no, like I just kept waking up and I kept just thinking, feeling like things were like in the hallway,
Yeah.
This main hallway is like the thing that's like everybody sees something. My uncle, the one time he came over, the one that the with the black dog that I used to see too, um, he was seeing stuff everywhere. And he's someone that he kept seeing things in the hallway. He said that like I went to room to lay down. I was just chilling in my room, and his wife were like doing work around the house for us because that was when I was still laid up with my legs, so I couldn't really do much. So I was like, I'm
Hmm.
gonna lay down. And he said he kept seeing like shadows like in the hallway, and that they kept going towards the room that I was in. And he kept like freaking out, saying like they're coming for him, like.
Yeah.
And he said that he just got a creepy feeling from like we have this like detached garage out there. He's like he didn't even want to go in there. He said that he thinks it's haunted.
Yeah.
Then he said he swear he saw like a shadow of like a little girl in the window.
Yeah.
And yeah, like and I think with the little girl or like kids or whatever, there's points at night to where I'm just here, like where I'm just laying down, like swear I hear like people talking or like kids talking or laughing.
Yeah. Have you
And I
ever
think
go
what?
ahead? Uh, uh
Um, you
hold on.
you go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever like tried to do anything where it was like, hey, whatever's here, like I acknowledge that you're here, but like you have to go or like have to stop messing with me. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, there's been times where I just tell it to go away. Like if it's really bad and like things are just kind of like I know for sure that something is here. That I'm just kind of like that's what my mom did too. Like whenever she saw the creature, she just yelled at it and told it to go away and belong here, and
Mhm.
it faded away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will do that. But
Okay.
sometimes I'm like not even sure what's happening. Like
Yeah.
obviously there's times where it's like, shit, I don't want to wake up my, it's late at night, so I'm like, I don't want to wake up Cassie. Like I don't want to wake up my wife because it's
Yeah.
like it's freaking dead of night and I'm hearing these voices and things like that. Like, and I always feel like I see something in the hallway sometimes. And then, like I said, there are just all these, like, man, I could have sworn the other night too, I heard something, I think it said hello or something like that, like just clearly. And I was like, what the fuck? I
No.
was like, hello? Like, I
Yeah.
was freaking out for a minute because I was like, okay, that was creepy. Like there are just some auditory things that I just hear like really clearly sometimes, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of like, and there's just one time. Well, like I said, there's just time where I just waking up at 3 a.m. every night. So that's whenever I kind of start experiencing stuff again. So there's a third intro that I come up with. This is
Okay,
the
let's check
latest.
this out.
The sound and sight can often tell stories.
Yeah, I'm scared just watching this intro. I like it. Sick.
What is up, guys? It is Nick, the motherfucking nerd, back with another episode of
That
My
went
Scare.
fast.
Yeah.
So my setup is finally made flourished a little bit more. I got my green screen, and
Nice.
my freaking Suicide Silence banner. So coming along like from like the first episode. But anyway, there's this point where I kind of catch the cats doing some weird shit.
And this is your
So
actual
that's
footage of your cats?
Yeah. So,
I'm scared. Okay.
let's see.
Bring on the cats. You have one or two?
I have two of them.
Okay.
Creepy Cookie. Damn, why your eyes light shining like that?
She was just staring. This was going on for minutes. She was just staring into the bathroom, just for like minutes on end. She was just staring into the bathroom. Then
Yeah.
why I started recording her.
She's being possessed right now.
Literally.
Cookie. She's behaving so strangely.
Yeah, so she kept just staring. Like for a while, I decided to record because she was just there for a minute without like just staring into the bathroom for a while, and then she you see her kind of react to something. If you kind of look closely, you could kind of see something.
Damn, Cookie. She's being possessed right now.
Boom.
Cookie.
You see something shoot up, and then she looks. Shoot
Cookie.
up, and then she looks.
Cookie.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
and
so
then
there's just like white orb that goes.
Yeah,
across
it
the
just kind of like
hallway.
went up real fast.
Yeah, and
even then, like she went to the room and she was
so
just
strangely.
she was just staring at the
other pets
closet.
are over there. And their sisters over here, so what the fuck?
You just gotta go in that room.
Yeah,
and
so
start
she definitely
fucking punching.
like is in tune. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Ew.
What are
Okay.
you seeing, Cookie?
So right there,
Another one, another orb.
You see the orb.
And
Yeah.
their sisters over here,
Some
so
knocking.
what the fuck?
Yeah, so she definitely like is in tune. Let me see.
What are you seeing, Cookie?
So you kind of see an orb.
That's
right
knocking,
from the
right?
beginning.
Yeah.
What are you seeing, Cookie?
I didn't even realize, like, for a second. Kind of hear that little interference again too.
There's something here. Make a noise.
Another orb.
What the fuck?
Make yourself known.
Oh shit! You hear that? Do you hear this other like?
So there's another noise I'm listening for.
There's something here. Make a noise. Make yourself known.
Right before I cough, right there.
Yeah, it was like a
Here, make a noise.
Right?
Yeah.
Make yourself known.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So you kind of hear something right here.
Make yourself known.
Yeah, she like
Yourself
moved her
known.
head forward.
Yourself known.
So you kind of hear something in the background.
What the fuck?
It's like a little moan or something.
Yeah.
Ew.
I can't see. Let me see if I caught anything else after
Or
that.
something. Or
Yeah, anyway, she's like staring at everyone.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, there was like definitely a couple times in there where like that when you first had it recording, there was like that orb, and then like kind of a little bit before you did like that cough or whatever, there was like it was like discolored at the bottom a little
Oh,
bit.
for real?
Yeah, that was weird.
there's something here. Make a
You
noise.
see that?
Yeah, another orb right there.
Yeah, it was like right across the bottom. That's disgusting. What the
Make
hell?
yourself known.
There was another one too somewhere. I think it ends up coming around here.
So you kind of hear something right here.
Oh
Make
yeah.
yourself known. Yourself known.
What the
Yourself
fuck?
known.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of hear something in the background. It's like a little moan or something. Start, you kind of see these orbs flying around, and here it's like a little knock.
Another?
Solid.
You're wild for sitting there like that.
And that was kind of crazy because I saw that. Oh shit! Obviously, I'm reacting to it, so it's like staring at my dad. Oh shit! Did you see that? So, staring at my dad. And you see that little orb shoot up. Obviously, I reacted to it in real time, so it's not just a bug. I saw something like an orb or something fly by, and she's just there.
What the fuck? I'm getting sick right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh my
so
god.
Yeah, that was kind of the latest because I was like, I hadn't done an episode for a while, and then like it's all the stuff that compiled that happened, and then we catching this and this. I called it the witching hour because there was this point I do see like a literal witch, but it was in public. I was at a store or something, and I look outside like where the parking lot is, and I just see this kind of figure staring, like just standing there, and like would look like kind of robes and like all fucking sort of translucent for a second, just like staring at me, and then I like kind of look away and look back, and it's like gone. It's like I was like, what the fuck?
Wow. Yeah.
So I kind of thought maybe the fucking neighbor was maybe cursing me or something because I had they had this ongoing feud with my neighbor that would just get after me because of my dogs, because they get loose sometimes, and
Yeah.
she just hates them, and
Wow. What a
I don't know.
bitch.
She'd always just call the dog catcher just on any dog that got loose and just be yelling at me from across the thing, be like, "I'm gonna report you," and just all this stuff. And
Yeah.
eventually, she got chickens and just kind of let them loose, and my dog started fucking eating them.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
she definitely cursed you.
I was kind of thinking that she did because there's this point where we kind of we go outside. I think I did a story on it too. Okay. Damn, where is it? Oh, the cursed leg, right? That one. Where like uh we opened the door right to let my dogs back in. They're like freaking out. I just hear them freaking out back there. So we open the door,
Hmm.
and there's just this fucking leg there, like a dog leg or a fucking like I don't know. It
What?
looked like just
What?
like a fucking leg that was all fucking deteriorated and fucking like it was
Does
pretty
that bitch
big.
still
It
live
did.
there?
Yeah, she still lives there. It's reminding me because she's shouting at
Suspicious.
me, yelling at me. Yeah, that's the
That's
way she's just
suspicious.
yelling at me from her friends reminds me of like the witch on the Hereditary,
Yeah.
where she's like payment, and she's like yelling at that kid.
Ew.
The fucking, that's what she reminds me of. That's what she kind of looks like too. I was like, fuck.
I don't trust her.
Yeah, me neither.
We don't trust her now.
Yeah,
What
we've
a
had this whole.
crazy lady. Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like I don't even know what that was. Like it was just I don't know
I'm
if it
like,
was a
maybe you
dog
should
leg or
start putting
like
salt around your house. I don't know.
a
Does that help?
I think
I don't
so.
know.
In terms of like entities, maybe like keeping things out and stuff like that. We finally
Yeah.
put a fence up so any fucking sort of dog or anything that come in can't anymore, but or
Yeah.
crazy fucking witch.
No
Um,
legs.
yeah,
Okay.
crazy stuff. Ultimately, just stuff that I've experienced over the years, and just
Yeah.
like I said, different entities, different things. I've seen ghosts, but not really that many in comparison to like these different entities. The black dog creature, doppelganger, fucking. Then I kind of started doing this other kind of like just talking about scary stuff on the internet, things like that. But yeah, some of the fucking crazy
Wow.
stuff that's happened over the years, and just kind of like so
Yeah.
this one's kind of like really limited, only have like 9 episodes,
Mhm.
really like eight main
But
stories
from
that I tell.
everything that we've just talked about, definitely everybody needs to go check this out because I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. I'm uncomfortable. I have to go home in a few, and I'm like, what? We have a basement. I'm fucking scared.
Oh yeah, don't
Oh
don't
my
go to that
god.
basement.
I
Yeah,
fucking hate a basement, man. I don't trust it. I'm like,
I've
there's
never
something
had
down
one.
there.
I don't
Don't
plan
do
on
it.
ever
Don't
going
do it.
into a basement.
I need a basement to be finished because if not, I'm like, what the fuck? Why does everything have to be crazy in the basement?
The
Like,
attics are
what are
creepy
we?
too. I have an attic too, and it's kind of creepy. I'm just always like hear
Ew.
footsteps up there too. It's kind of some
Ugh.
like there's just been these weird occurrences too, just like kind of random.
Hmm.
Like or like not that long ago, this like hole started to form in the ceiling, like in the living room,
Okay.
just out of nowhere. And I thought it was a leak at first, but
Yeah.
didn't really see any water. And it started out as just like a little like a little tear in the mesh or whatever there,
Yeah.
and it was like okay, and then just start getting bigger and bigger to where it was just this kind of just gaping hole in the ceiling, and we're like, what the hell?
What the
Like this is kind
fuck?
of creepy. So I call like a maintenance guy or whatever, and he comes and checks it out. And it's like, no, like this is not like it's not leaking. Nothing's leaking up there. Nothing's
What
wet.
the
And
fuck?
he said like something has just chewed through here. Like whatever it is, this hole is just kind of. He's like maybe it's like a rodent or like he's like I haven't seen any like squirrels or anything like that, but like seems like something chewed its way through there. And not only that, whenever he reached in, he pulled out this little container that it was like buttercream body stuff. It was just like it was a big round container, and I'm like, what the hell?
What the fuck did your neighbor put in your attic? What
I
the
know,
hell? Oh my god!
I know. It's creepy because it's hard to get up there too. There isn't like a way to get up there
All right.
from inside. I think there used to be, which is kind of weird because I guess what it might be kind of creepy about is that the neighbors sealed it off at some point. Um, because there's like between this room that I'm in and the next room, which is my little boy's room, they made like a closet in there. They added like an extra little wall in there in between, or like this. Well, there's really just a closet, and they kind of added on to that. And I think they covered the attic, like the attic opening, so it's kind of weird. And then yeah, he said something chewed through
Okay.
there, and then there was I don't know, like it's one thing if it was like a rodent or whatever, but like why the hell would there be this thing of body cream up there?
Yeah,
It's weird.
that's fucking suspicious.
Yeah, we're like, what
It's
the
like
hell?
almost like someone put that up there, but like
Yeah,
it's like
it,
cursed in some way. What the fuck? I'm getting
yeah.
goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps. It's real. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah, I threw it the fuck away. I was like, dude, I don't know what this is. I'm throwing it away because this is fucking weird, dude. I want to, like, I know, animals like hoard shit, but you think there have been other stuff
They're
up
not
there,
gonna take a
know?
cream. They're gonna
Yeah,
be taking like hay and tree branches and nuts and stuff. What the
yeah.
fuck?
I wouldn't think they would put something like that up there, and it's kind of weird. It doesn't seem like it's something the
That's
neighbors put
great.
storage in necessary. This house is a little bit old. It's like since the 70s, so
Okay.
maybe that's
Yeah.
why it's a little bit cursed. Old houses, it's not a new house. They've kind of refurbished some things, so maybe it's
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know where the entrance to the attic is on the outside. So he said it looks like something's about torn through there, but still, it just doesn't
That's
explain.
weird, right? Like I get maybe something could have torn through it, but like what do you mean the cream? Right there, I would have been like, what the fuck? We gotta start a
Yeah.
GoFundMe. We gotta get out of here, guys. I'm unsafe. I got a baby.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of this guy. I'm gonna try again at some point, but this guy that's essentially like an exorcist.
Hell yeah.
And I kind of want to talk to him about all these things because it's kind of like he's someone that's like had experience with all types of like entities. I'd probably do like an interview with him at some point if I can get him on.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to hear about that if you ever get to.
Yeah, for sure. If I can get him on, because I could kind of run some of these stories by him too and see what he thinks, because he's like,
Yeah.
an expert and stuff like that. But it'd be cool to like get footage of him coming and like blessing the house if he'd be okay with that. Because before I kind of asked about, because he's done like actual exorcisms on people that are possessed, so I'm kind of trying to get him to let me tag along. But he might be down for that, but he says he doesn't know about the filming, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I could essentially go along and just kind of tell the stories and just kind of keep the names anonymous or something like that. But
yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Right.
Like even just random things like that are just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's
crazy.
Enjoy the story. So you want to listen to it? It's on my main YouTube, The Metal Nerd.
Yeah, for sure.
You can listen to it on there.
So we do have to end it because I do have to go soon.
Yeah,
but we're definitely gonna have to get together again so we could talk about the other podcasts that you have, get into some other little topics that I know we wanted to talk about, like Cornetto trilogy, whatever things.
Yeah, we could do a second part and kind of like.
But this has been great. I'm uncomfortable now. Oh my god!
So I hope to do is just creep people out a little bit with some of these stories. So I'm like, man, some of these stories are crazy, and so I kind of want to turn them into like a little bit of IP and stuff, like doing the stories, kind of printing out, doing like a little book, and it'll be like a little booklet pretty much. It'll be like a little novella, but
yeah.
So,
but for sure, like they're definitely interesting. Like everything that you've been going through, like that's too much already. Like it's no way to just be like, oh, okay, this was happening, but like the orbs with what Cookie, that poor baby. Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah,
it's too much.
So wild. Yeah, it's a lot. Like a lot in this house. Like I already had a bunch of stories whenever I came here. But then, like I said, I just went off the format I was originally going to start because I was like, I have to tell these stories because this is crazy right now.
Yeah.
But my original channel, The Metal Nerd, I have the 2 podcasts, the Metal Nerd radio show, so people can just see like clips of some of the stuff, and then the My Scary Stories to Tell podcast, of course, if you can go on there. This is like the full-fledged content. That like just go through stories, go through some lore, like I kind of go into the background of what some of these like entities are, and I do actually have a My Scary Stories to Tell YouTube as well. But these are just I decided to just do clips, just for people that maybe are a little bit more a little bit more I don't want to watch a
I
whole
just want
hour
something
40-minute
quick.
thing. I kind of just do the breakdown of the stories in
Mm-hmm.
most of these videos, and I think I have one that's kind of like I don't have on there, which is like one of my friends kind of tells some of his stories, and like he's
Okay.
experienced some crazy things like in the back roads of
Mm-hmm.
like our little small Texas town. He's like experienced some crazy stuff. Like he
Ooh.
seen what he thought was like a Bigfoot type entity. He seen what he thought was
Oh
like a little
shit.
fucking flying demon type thing that he saw.
Okay, we
He's
gotta go
been
check those out. Yes.
Yeah, that's that's one of the stories when he just kind of talks about that, and then there's others that he tells me that he's just seen things that he doesn't even know how to like describe them because they're like not things that he's ever really like heard of. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Wow.
like I'm like, damn, okay, man, I need to go take me some of these spots to where you've
Yeah.
seen some of this stuff. So we're
For
probably gonna
sure.
get more into that and probably actually hit some spots like some haunted spots around like San Antonio, which is like kind of the city I'm near.
Okay, that sounds
Because
interesting.
there's a couple of creepy spots like there's there's like this goat lady that's supposed to that's what's it called? It's like damn, what the hell is it called? I forget what it's called. But there's a
Mm,
little bridge that's supposed to be haunted by a goat lady
that's
that we
gross.
want to go check out. And almost everyone that goes there it usually experiences something. I've talked to like a couple of friends, and they've been like, they just hear like supposedly hear these hooves. Um, and then there's like this other Chinese cemetery that people go check out where it's supposed to be haunted, where people see orbs. So there's a bunch of hot spots to go check out. So we
Yeah.
might start like since I've kind of like new episodes are a little bit harder to come by unless something's actually happening. Which is it's been sort of quiet, but there's been little things, but not enough to like come and tell a whole story, a whole episode. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of keep it like if there's a whole thing where I can kind of make it into something like just the witching hour, that one, that was all something that kind of came together.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, I was thinking too. So that I created this other my scary stories to tell on the internet,
Uh-huh.
and I only did one episode, but it'd be cool to expand on it at some point and kind of like, I mean, maybe you could guest on it, and we can kind of talk about maybe like real life scary stories, things that have happened, like
Yeah.
um, either things that have kind of like kind of some true crime things, that
Mm-hmm.
might involve like paranormal activity and stuff like that. Like I was thinking stuff like the devil made me do it, and like Amityville and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That if you ever wanted to guest, we could
Yeah, for
kind of talk
sure.
about these things. So, you know,
Yeah, I'm
most of the
so
time I'm
into
just
all of
like,
that stuff. Yeah.
so that would be kind of cool if you want to kind of like join me on that segment. I can kind of look at creating some of this stuff, and then we can like go over it and like kind of just talk about all the spooky stuff
Yeah,
and
I'm always down to talk about some
spooky.
spooky stuff. I'm scared. Right now I'm scared for my life. But I love talking about it. I think it's so interesting because it's another thing that like I don't know. You don't know what's going on, what's real, what's like reasons behind things, this and that, but it's always so interesting to talk about. It's definitely like a
Yeah,
good conversation every time.
yeah, exactly. Which is why I thought it'd be like a good kind of starter off kind of uh, guest episode to kind of come and tell some of these stories because I'm like, you know what, the way because it really essentially got me into podcasting. For the most
Yeah.
part, I like never really even liked podcasts that much, but then all of a sudden I was just kind of like, you know what, I need to tell my story somehow. So it's like, you know what, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get into podcasting, and now I've just been into it, and it's been mostly because of this. At some point, I just started doing the metal nerd stuff that kind of like came into its own too in its own way, but it all started because of my scary stories to tell. So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, that's the most interesting part to start off talking about because yeah, this
That's
has
where it
been
all
some
began.
it's been some crazy shit. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's more stuff. If you ever want to go and watch and just get creeped out, it
Yeah,
all
for
kind of
sure.
there's definitely more little tidbits and stories in there
Hmm.
that I tell, and just this is a lot of stuff, a lot more intricate stuff. It's also on Spotify,
Hmm.
So it's that's easier to listen to if you're just kind of in your car and stuff, riding around than YouTube. Because usually if you don't have premium, you're always getting ads or it
Right.
goes out when you exit out of it, so it's a pain in the ass. So if you're just
Yes.
driving your car, you just kind of want to listen to something. It's on Spotify, just under my scary stories to tell. Um,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
you can check that on there, and then of course the Metal Nerd Radio show is on there too. We can get more into that later too. I'm thinking maybe you could join me on an episode, like a full episode. 'Cause like I said, I put clips on here, but on the Spotify, I put like more of exclusive content. I make it into an actual radio show. I listen to, using new songs or whatever stuff that has come out.
Hmm.
And it's kind of tricky because Spotify kind of will copyright you sometimes.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I have to do like a lot of talking. I'd have to talk before every song and kind of talk about what's going on with that band, what tour they're doing, or whatever.
Yeah.
And usually I start off like the first 20 minutes of it talking about some like whatever's going on in the metal scene. So I had to spend a lot of time talking to kind of trick the algorithm to let me post the episodes. So
Yeah.
also you can check that out if you just kind of feel like jamming or hearing about some shit that's going on in the metal scene.
For
Usually
sure.
the drama is the ones that get the most views or whatever on like the most interesting stuff. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, so that is
Right.
pretty much like I said. If you ever want to join the episode on there,
Hmm.
I thought about possibly doing that. I almost said like because I've had an episode kind of that I wanted to do, but I was like, it's not fully ready. It's a little bit some of the subject matters kind of I got a deep dive into, so I was like, that was not ready yet. So I was like, you know what, better talk about the spooky stuff first. So
Yeah, for sure. We love
maybe,
it. And we'll definitely get into that. We have to do a couple more episodes because like the conversation's too good right now. But I do have to go. But thanks
okay,
again for
yeah,
coming on the podcast. It's been great. Everyone's
yeah, of
always so
course,
excited to have new people on here. And we'll have Nick the Metal Nerd on another day.
yeah. We'll definitely get into more stuff. Get into a little bit more about your podcast too. Sorry, just kind of took up the whole story
No,
today.
it's totally fine. It's great.
uh,
I love it. Yes.
but yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely hope to see more of you. I'll let you know about the that other stuff that I'm kind of working on, like the my scary stories to tell, the spin off or whatever with the
Hmm.
true crime stories. If you ever want to, if I get that together, I'll hit you up and then we'll see if we can get together on that.
For sure. Well, sounds good. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Alrighty, bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you for having me on. It was fun, and yeah, sounds good. Thanks, but yeah, talk to you later. Bye bye.